Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Wednesday the 26th of August 2015, and we are going to address the issue of the silver price crash. Today we witnessed a major fall in the price of silver futures, at one point as low as $13.91, and the spot price touched $14, its lowest level since August 2009. We had a seller's day in gold and silver, said George Guerreau, precious metals strategist with RBC Capital Markets Global Futures. He added, a lot of that had to do with continued strength in the stock market and the steadiness of the US dollar. At the time of producing this video, there has been a slight recovery, with silver standing at $14.19. The dollar index stands at 95.19, up 1.23%, and the Dow Jones closing up 619 points at 16,285. Many of our listeners know that since we set up this channel a little over 5 months ago, we predicted that silver prices were going to fall below $14 in the short term and quite possibly to $12 in the medium term, and even a possibility of a flash crash to perhaps $10, if only for a short period of time. With silver trading at that time around $16, this was a difficult call to make, especially bearing in mind that silver had fallen from almost $50 to $16, leaving one to wonder whether there was any downside left. Our calculations were primarily based on fundamentals, supply and demand, and also an acute awareness that the global economy was declining and that China, the powerhouse of the world at the time, were facing some very serious problems of their own. It was clear to us that if China's economy slowed, then demand for base and certain precious metals would also fall, and by definition so too would their price. Now we wish to make something abundantly clear here, which is really the reason for this video. Today, in 2015, silver is seen primarily as an industrial metal. Let me repeat that. Silver is primarily seen in 2015 as an industrial metal. Now we can all argue the historical case that silver has been a monetary metal for centuries, if not millennia. Well, if we go back far enough, seashells were used as currency too. And frankly, we do not see people standing outside banks and shops with bagloads of conches to deposit or spend. Now we are being a little facetious here to make a point. Whether silver should or should not be regarded as a monetary metal is one argument. However, central banks and governments are purchasing gold to support their currencies, not silver. And whether we like it or not, this sends out a signal to the investing community where the true value of silver lies, within the parameters of industry. So when industry declines, so does the price of silver, and industry is declining. This is a hard fact to swallow, but swallow it one must, or be caught out at significant financial cost to yourself and your families. Now, we're not saying that silver has no monetary relationship or that this view won't change in the future. as we believe eventually it will. However, not now, not today, and not in 2015. So before anyone shouts, well, silver is falling because of manipulation. Okay. Then why buy it if you know it's being manipulated downwards? It's illogical. Unless, of course, you think that manipulation is about to end. And that's where enters the pumpers story. The world powers cannot maintain the manipulation any longer, and the recent stock market falls prove it, and silver will shoot to $1,000 an ounce and gold to $50,000. Well, ask yourself, what actually happened to silver when we saw the 1,000-point fall in the Dow? Basically nothing. And then as soon as it recovered, silver collapsed. Why? Because when the stock markets fall, people realize the economy is not great. And when that happens, they realize demand is going to fall. And therefore, so will commodity prices, such as silver. We have been asked, is the downside risk great? The reality is that no one really knows. If the world's economy enters into a Japan-like depression, then silver could fall to ridiculously low levels for a lengthy period of time. If, as we believe, it's only a medium-term phenomena, then there is probably a 10 to 25% downside risk in its price at current levels. We personally are not buyers of silver at these levels. However, we're not saying that you should not be, as all our circumstances are different and we all have different risk-reward profiles. What we are saying is just be cautious. Do not allow the pumpers to sway your reasoning, because they have all risen in recent days like the phoenix from the ashes, declaring dollar collapse and financial Armageddon. If they are right, then one would suggest that your first expenditure should be on food, water, and protection.